just can't believe that nobody takes this seriously. Oh my God, this is Secret Squirrels. And we are to be taken seriously. We are to be feared. You understand?
Well, yeah.
Yeah, man.
They will chew on your leg.
Okay.
And I titled this episode Hide Your Nuts. No. But, we are the Secret Squirrels, and we're coming for, whatever trouble that we can cause. And looking through the conspiracy news a little bit. Partially so that we can poke fun at the... Well, I guess the point is we're associated with Jerome Corsi, and we do everything we can to taint his brand. How about that? Yeah, so CorsiNation.com, that's where we hang out. That's kind of our squirrels.
Stomping grounds.
Squirrels have nests, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Squirrels do have nests. Yes. Go. They wad a bunch of leaves together up in the tree, and they live there. I wad a bunch of newspapers.
Is this thing on yet?
We are. Yeah, we're live.
Oh, there it is.
Can you tell? We're serious. This is us being serious. You gotta watch out for it. So yeah, we got news and stuff that we cover, sort of. Okay. In seriousness, what we're trying to do, that all this programming, they've got your mind all in a flutter, thinking that it's wrong to believe that some powerful bad people might want to get rich and famous at your expense, because that would be crazy talk. Oh, you guys didn't laugh.
Pizza.
Joe's Pizza.
It's just past dinner time over here, and maybe it's a little bit of a hangover.
Joe's Pizza.
Pizza hangover.
All right.
Okay, yeah. Yeah, this is... seriously, we're just like, they have us thinking that we're crazy because we believe that there are a group of people in the world that want to become more rich and more powerful than they already are. How crazy would it be that to believe that those things deep state crazy talk?
I think it's just a bunch of people that are too busy to pay attention, and they'd rather believe the best, and they turn off the possibility of, I don't know, I just think it's critical thinking. If you're watching the news and you see some of the bias that goes on, it's insane. Again, we're talking about that's not Cory Booker, the guy
Cory Cooker.
Cory Cooker? No.
Yeah.
What's the guy's name that he's getting away with all these allegations from his...
Oh, Ellison.
Yeah. Ellison getting away with all this stuff that has been documented by the police department and everything. But boy, they're not upset about that. But they're going to go and take the word from some woman that the Republicans are doing it the right way.
Someone who's getting paid, someone who's obviously getting paid by someone, and has ties to the left, Well,
everybody's talking about Kavanaugh right now, and I wanted to start our first story off with the story from Zero Hedge, entitled "CIA Honey Trap Set, Kavanaugh Accuser, CIA Ties." That sounds like a story that's right up our alley.
Right.
It does.
What's a honey trap?
Oh,
Ask Pooh Bear.
Version of a honey trap.
It's what you use for ants too. Put down some honey, and what happens?
Mm-hmm.
I thought they were called honey pots. Why is it called a honey trap? Honey pot.
Yeah,
it's a honey pot. It's a honey pot. Somebody hasn't got it right.
No, a honey trap, just like you said with the ants. So you're nice and sweet, and you draw them in, and then you throw the handcuffs on them.
That's me. I'm very sweet. I'm telling you this right now because I'm drinking my Captain Morgan's, what is it called? Private stock. Captain Morgan Private Stock. And I want a little bit of compensation for that, Captain Morgan's. I think I'll put it on my T-shirts. But, Captain Coke.
This half of Squirrels is brought to you by Captain Morgan's.
That's right. And Coca-Cola. They go well together.
Have a Coke and a smile.
No, they've taken the cocaine out of it.
Hold on.
Oh my goodness.
You dropped your peanut butter in my chocolate. No, you dropped your Captain Morgans in my Coca-Cola. Okay, go ahead. Sorry.
All right, boys.
So
I'm not drinking any.
Well, see, that's your problem. This should be a show where
it's not a problem. She thinks that I'm, going out of control here, and I'm not even drinking.
Oh,
that's what's scary.
You should see him when he gets a little toasted. Yeah. Okay, so Global Intel Hub says a Zero Hedge exclusive. A Supreme Court Judge Brett Kavanaugh is tied up in a controversy that can prevent him from being elected to the Supreme Court for life. All of the other witnesses have come forward and stated they have no recollection of the event, and have taken a step further to say that Brett Kavanaugh is an honest, ethical, and respectable individual. Problem. Everyone at the party has said they have no idea what Christine Blasey Ford is talking about. Even her longtime friend Leland Ingham Keyser, also potentially damaging to Blasey Ford's claim, is a theory presented Thursday by Ed Whelan, a former clerk to the USSC Justice Antonin Scalia, a current president of Ethics and Public Policy Center, conservative think tank. Using entirely circumstantial evidence, which could certainly ruin the life of the man at the center of the new theory, Whelan suggested that Kavanaugh's high school doppelganger, Chris Garrett, may have in fact been responsible for Blasey Ford's recollection of the alleged incident. In other words, memory. Well, here's the part, right? This is the cool part. See this report here. What does it say? Christine's father has worked and still works.
I'll imagine that.
He works for the CIA. The brother works for the law firm that paid Diffusion GPS. The mother was screwed over by Kavanaugh's mother. It doesn't get any more soap opera like
conflicting.
Oh,
the truth is stranger than fiction.
Yeah, not to mention the fact that she had 60 boyfriends in high school.
Oh boy.
Yeah.
You know, if you were to sit there and tell somebody this, they would look at you like you were just out of your mind, because it is crazy to hear, but when you see it written right there.
What can you do?
Okay, I'm gonna tell you guys a true story about the guy that I'm training today that was in the truck with me. He is an ex-Navy corpsman. He is a good conservative Republican. He is a Trump supporter. And when I told him these things about Ford, when I told him about the brother, when I told him about the mother, when I told him about the story, the original story that came out with, she said nothing about rape, he was dumbfounded. This is a conservative Republican Trump backer, and he was dumbfounded. So yes, those truths are not getting out there for anybody that doesn't go looking for them. It isn't out there anywhere.
And that's sad.
You go looking for it. Yeah.
That's sad.
It's extremely scary and sad.
Because it's job security for the squirrels. We are here to serve your needs.
There was a squirrel around you somewhere.
Oh my gosh. Where's my decon?
Captain Morgan. Oh, no.
This is Captain Morgan and Coke Hour.
Oh, I thought she was looking for some Captain Morgan herself.
No, I was looking for some decon.
If every time we said that, we got a name.
Oh, wow. Captain Morgan, Captain Morgan, Captain Morgan.
Yeah, I want penny a mention or something. Or what are we talking? $1 a mention?
Yeah,
What's fair?
That. Let's work it. So,
sorry.
Well,
hey, Rocky.
We got a tweet from Dinesh D'Souza on this that says it all. It says, since when do we trust the antediluvian drunken recollection of an ideologically motivated leftist over the long proven record of a distinguished constitutional jurist?
Right.
I had to look up antediluvial. There's a test for you guys. Antediluvial, what does it mean?
Pre-flood?
I do not know.
Pre-flight?
Flood.
Pre-flood.
Pre-flood, that's right. It's old biblical.
Yeah.
Before the flood.
Listen, here's the thing, and I told this to this guy today too. Conservatives play by the rule.
Yeah.
Mostly they play by the rules. Now there are some, well, I guess I wouldn't call them conservatives. There are some neocon Republicans that are buttheads that we need to get rid of too. But for the most part, conservatives play by the rules. And unfortunately, that puts us at a disadvantage as of right now. In the end, it will put us on top. But as of right now, you know, we're playing against a stacked deck, and the left stacks them every chance they get, and
Right.
it'll come out, and we will win.
Yep. Ends justify the means.
Right.
Yeah, I mean, gosh, Alinsky messed up this country.
Yeah, he did.
Well,
Him and Ronald McDonald, I think.
Oh,
you know,
gosh.
just saying.
it's got to do with his shoes, I suppose.
Oh, the shoes, the nose, the hair.
They enter the room a minute before he does.
Chicken McNuggets.
What's next on the subjects?
Okay. Next we have Deep State is just getting deeper, and Rosenstein is a member of a coup to overthrow an elected official, destroying the Constitution, ending democracy. Sounds very dramatic, doesn't it?
What? When did this happen?
For that.
Yeah.
Dun, dun, dun.
I need to get some sound effects going here.
You do.
Yes, you do.
We need a squirrel sound effect so that when we don't have anything to talk about, we'll say, "What do you think, Mr. Squirrel?" And then he responds. And...
I got to find out what noises a squirrel makes. I don't think I've ever heard him make a noise.
They chatter.
That sounds like a hand part.
They chatter.
Deep State is just getting deeper. Yet, like an onion, the layers are slowly peeling away to expose the core.
Oh my gosh!
Members of Congress filed impeachment
Am I the
motions.
only one not drunk here? That's just what I want to know.
I am not drunk. However,
Okay.
However, no, I really like Patriot 3's dun dun dun.
Oh, yeah.
You need to find that sound effect. You need to have a button handy for that. That is great.
Sure.
Mm-hmm.
The New York Times report that Rosenstein called for wearing wires to meet with Trump has been met with an unusual degree of people on the Hill beginning to understand that there is really a coup underway by the Deep State.
A coup?
Coup. Is that a Coupe de Ville?
Well,
that's what
I
I'm
have a
wondering.
station wagon.
Or is it just a kook?
Coupe. I'm sorry.
Okay, with a P.
I apologize.
A little deuce coup?
At this point, Rosenstein should be immediately suspended at the very least, and a special prosecutor should be appointed who is not a former employee of the Department of Justice. Anyway, you can read the article yourself. But, I want to find these articles for you.
I have a question. Okay.
No bathroom breaks until after the show.
But I'm doing the tap dance in life.
How are your students doing? Are they treating you okay?
Please shut your mic off.
Oh, yeah. You don't want to hear that.
I want to know about how your students are doing.
It's a trip going from college to high school. That's for sure. But yeah, it's just one of those things where you tell them to do something and they look at you and then they ask you the same question 5 seconds later. And it's just an adjustment for sure, but it's pretty cool, actually. Not a lot of people get to work as a professional artist and do this kind of stuff. So I'm in. Yeah, it can be, but I was just looking at, speaking of the coup that's going on in Washington, D.C.
Hey, I'm talking about this. What is it? I have to look at the bottle again. Captain Morgan's private stock. I want to remind you here. It says premium barrel, fine Caribbean aged rum with spice and other natural flavor.
What was last Wednesday?
I don't even know what today is, man.
Last Wednesday was Pirate Day, National Pirate Day.
Huh.
Captain Morgan would have been perfect on Captain Pirate Day, or on Pirate Day.
Every day is perfect for Captain Morgan and Coke.
So, what is the pirate's favorite letter?
I'm still.
No, it's the C.
It's the C.
Mommy.
Give me another tantalizing bit of the Captain Morgan.
Gosh.
I do expect some kind of compensation from.
At least a T-shirt.
I would be satisfied with a T-shirt. So the next story: Donald Trump's Rosenstein dilemma, and September 23rd. So it's a day old, but not so bad. So we got the redacted version, scope of investigation, all blacked out. Unredacted, get Trump. Pretty much all you need to know, except for who actually did everything.
Texas.
Chair's back. So is Rosenstein gone, or is he waiting to be?
Not yet. He's got to have
what? Steve Pachenik tweeted this morning that John Kelly had already accepted his resignation.
Evidently, there was some kind of brouhaha in the White House over that. So, he hasn't resigned yet, but they're going to talk on Thursday, and I think on the terms of his resignation. And I'm wondering if they were talking earlier today about how that there were certain things that need to be met, and if he resigns, then they can't prosecute him a certain way. But I'm wondering if they're trying to retain the ability to still prosecute him.
Well, do you guys follow the whole Q thing? I mean, some of you guys do, right? How much?
Yeah.
I do.
Yeah,
I heard it today.
The why is the question. Why did Sessions put Rosenstein in that position? And why is Rosenstein now being forced out? Not by firing, but for other reasons. What is that other reason? Come on. Asking you a question.
Hear it. Brain, you're the brain.
Okay. This is just straight out of Q, man. This is no great insights on my part. The original point, I think, is that by putting Rosenstein in office, that position, then he could no longer investigate. He could no longer sign the FISA, what do you call it? The FISA renewal thing without being in a conflict of interest. So that's the issue. Is that by putting Rosenstein in office, they limited the number of. I mean, that basically at that point, then the FISA warrant stopped. So no more spying on Trump.
Wow.
Right, and now that the FISA warrant stuff is going to be declassified. Well, guess what? Rosenstein, we find out that
no longer needed.
Well, we find out that he was part of this illegal thing. So that's why he's going to be forced to resign.
He hasn't developed brain cancer now all of a sudden, has he?
Yes, good question.
Look for the seam on his head, and then we know what's going on. I think Trump just wants to get Rosenstein in his office so Trump can wear a wire, so that when he walks in, he has a little discussion, and then he says, Rod Rosenstein, you're fired.
You're fired.
And then he's going to leak that to the press, and then we'll hear it and rap, you're fired.
Look at all this. We're all having fun at the deep state's expense. We should feel bad about ourselves.
Hey, 3 years ago, I was afraid to talk like this on the radio. Or just even outwardly. I mean, I was showing people I was downloading the Obama birth certificate in a college, and it took me and it linked me up. I hit some button and it was going to put it on Facebook. And I was terrified, thinking, oh my God, my job, my reputation. People are going to come and think I'm a crazed lunatic, and I'm going to get fired and ostracized.
Aren't you afraid that somebody's going to find out, where you work and they're going to fire you?
No, not anymore.
Are you working at a conservative joint?
You might say that, Boyle.
Boyle?
I'm working at a Catholic high school.
That doesn't mean a damn thing.
Well,
yeah,
watch your language there,
it kind of does.
Yeah, I was hanging out with a priest friend of mine, and it was, I don't want to hear any cracks. And we were having dinner just before the election, and he's the one that came out and said, "So I have to tell you, I'm going to vote for Trump." And I almost spit my wine out. I said, "What?" And he says, "Well, I'm a conservative person, and Trump is a conservative person. He's the best shot we have at taking our rights back. And this is an 85-year-old man." And he says, "Hillary's a crook." And I couldn't believe it, but I had a conversation with a family member who's an older family member and pretty established in education. And we sat down on the front porch and we had a beer, and he said, "Are you really going to vote for this guy?" And I said, "Are you really going to vote for Hillary?" And he says, "Yes." And I said, "You know all the allegations and all the criminality associated with her, right?" And he says, "Yeah." I said, "So you agree that she's corrupt?" He says, "Yes, I do, but I'm still voting for her." And I just said, "I'm sorry, call me a Boy Scout, but I could never do that. Trump, I don't know anything."
Why would somebody vote for Hillary if they knew that?
Because there are a bunch of angry people out there that believe in the ends justify the means, because they feel like they've been prejudiced against and that something's got to happen. And they'll go for it's just, why would anybody root or cheer Al Capone when he walked into Chicago Bear Stadium, But they used to. And it's a weird psychology regarding people, like people cheering on John Derringer and Bonnie and Clyde and pulling for them to get away with it. You know what I mean? You ever wondered that?
Sure, I'm following, actually.
Okay.
You got to remember, I'm drinking. Speak slowly. And
sometimes people pull for the bad guys because they think that the government is so big and that the bad guy represents a small person taking a stand. And so they pull for that. But I mean, Hillary doesn't even get into that with me. But for some reason, there's a lot of people that think that she's going to do right by us because she's, the Democratic playbook is pulling for, people that are disadvantaged and they need help and all that stuff.
Well, yeah, I guess people still think of Trump as rich because he's a billionaire when, most of the corrupt people are merely millionaires. So they think that Trump must be even worse than they are, but they're not really paying attention to even bigger story.
Yeah. I mean, Trump comes off as authentic somehow. I don't understand how that's possible. That's an intangible about him.
Well, I got this story up. This is actually very old, but apparently when David Rockefeller was dying, he said that the conspiracy regarding the one world order is true. So I guess I don't know when Rockefeller died, but he goes through this. David says, David, the patriarch of that family in a vanished WASP establishment, celebrated his 100th birthday. These days, he's pretty low in the billionaire's pecking order, 603rd according to Forbes magazine, the chronicle of such a fortune of only $3.2 billion. But,
he died in March of last year.
Did he?
Yeah.
Wow.
David Rockefeller.
How come I didn't hear about that?
Oh, wait a minute. Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, okay. Because the Rockefellers were replaced by Soros, right? That's how it goes?
Mm-hmm. Died at 101.
So, but Soros took over the Rockefeller position in the global cabal. I think it was the movement. I don't remember.
Wow.
Details. Soros, so it was like basically Rothschilds, Rockefeller, and then the bad Apple, Saudi royals. Then Soros replaced the Rockefeller. Or to all the disinformation campaign, cultural. mainstream media. Anyway, and I mean, but when you compare somebody like Trump, who's a billionaire, to what? To the Rothschilds. Relative to the Rothschilds, Trump might as well be on the street.
Mm-hmm.
So you have to get somebody that's got some heavy weight in order to take on somebody like Rothschild.
Oh, yeah. Well, that's one of the things I think that Q's talking about. Well, I don't know about Q, but I just remember when Pachenik came out in August before the election and said, and scared me to death because I'd never heard anything like this, but he says there's a silent coup happening right now. White hats and the black hats and the CIA combating each other, and that Trump has been selected by the military to be the presidential candidate because he's got the psychological evaluation in his favor to be able to pull this off because he's unattached and doesn't owe anyone a thing. And it blew my mind when I heard that. But I think that's what's going on. I mean, I don't know. I think that's just a shocking thing to consider. And the whole idea of a cabal, I'd never even heard of a cabal. I'd never heard of one world order. I think my wife told me about the Rockefellers on a road trip, and I was just like, what are you talking about? And then it all started to come together and make sense.
Here's another one from Zero Hedge. Ready for this? Crazy.
Mm-hmm.
Digital dictatorship. China exerts control over population through social credit system.
What?
They're on Corsi Nation last week.
Did what?
I threw that up on Corsi Nation last week. We never talked about it. But anyway, go ahead.
What's this?
I'm sorry.
9/24. That's today.
It doesn't matter. There's another story. If you look in our news topics from last week, it's up there. I did it, okay, man? I did it. Anyway.
Well, then you can talk to me about this story. Tell me all about it.
Okay, so because I don't even have this pulled up right now, but the gist of it is that, and they will have, before it's over, they will have like, oh my goodness, 55 million cameras in China on every street corner and everything else, and you will be filmed almost every minute of every day, and you have a point system. Each Chinese person has a point system. And if you, let's say, jaywalk, there's a couple of points off. If you talk bad about the government, there's quite a few points off. You know what I'm saying? So every day, in their mind, what they consider bad for the state, you will get points assigned to you. And the more points you have assigned to you, it messes with your social status. They actually had, I believe they were given the example of a reporter or something over there who could no longer buy a house. He could no longer send his kids to private schools. There was a bunch of stuff because they assigned a bunch of points to him. So they're already trying it. It's already in effect. But by the time they're done, there's going to be cameras on every street corner watching every citizen all the time.
Kind of sounds like what Facebook would aspire to be. Right? I mean, if they could.
I want to ask you, while we're on this topic and about Facebook, I actually had some friends and some people talk about the other day about the whole, you're talking about something with your girlfriend or your wife or your husband or whoever, your kids in your house, and the next thing you know, an ad for that thing pops up on Facebook. You didn't know. Hey, you laugh all you want. It happened to us.
Yeah, it happens.
Yes, it does. It happens.
No question.
Or you talk about it and then it shows up as the ad as when you're going going through the web browsing, web surfing, or whatever. Like you just had this conversation with somebody and now it's an ad.
Yes,
that's pretty creepy.
You did not look it up. You did not punch in mosquito nets or whatever. I'm outside on the back porch right now. You did not punch in mosquito nets, but you were talking to her about, we really need to get some mosquito nets. And all of a sudden that ad pops up on Facebook. You explain that to me. Come on, explain it to me.
I'll let Jax do it.
Come on, Jax.
It depends on the apps you have on your computer, on your phone. Do you have WhatsApp on your phone? If you have WhatsApp, take that thing off. It's a chat program. It listens to everything. Some of the programs that you have, it listens. And I do believe that Facebook's got a lot of issues with that.
Okay.
Just be careful on what you've got on your phone and go through the permissions on each one of your apps and make sure your microphone, you don't give permission unless you're actively using it.
Hey, I do have a question about that. When I was having problems the other day last week with the show, and I uninstalled Discord, and when I reinstalled Discord, it said you have to allow Discord to record.
Right, but that's so you can do what we're doing now. It's not really recording. It's allowing access to your microphone.
Okay. All right. Because it kind of scared me for a second, and I said, "No, I deny it."
Nope. I'm here with you. Yeah.
Okay.
It's allowing access to your microphone. I wish that they would put that rather than recording, because I think that that's kind of a little
scary.
Retarded. Yeah, it is scary. So, but that's just me.
No, it's me too.
So
imagine you're in China. You don't even get the option to go turn an app off. You've got to have it on, or they're actually recording you.
Oh, they don't even tell you anymore. It's a given that it's on.
Well, Google censors. Google is censored in China.
Yeah, for right now.
Oh, it's been for years.
Isn't that story that Brandon's talking about? Isn't that Google?
It's Google that's doing it. Google's trying to get permissions. They're trying to get in big time, and so they've got all kinds of permissions.
Yep.
So here's an older article, way back in December of 2013, but it has lots of cool things in it. CFR and the New World Order. So CFR, citing scientific, blah, 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 blah. Where's the good stuff? So CFR is the promotional arm of the ruling elite in the United States of America. The most influential politicians, academics, media personalities uses its influence to infiltrate the New World Order into American life. Its experts write scholarly pieces to be used in decision-making. Academics expound on the wisdom of a united world. Media members to message.
Kumbaya, my lord.
That's how it's supposed to work.
I got a story for that one.
Please.
So, here's the part that this is the one. Georgetown professor Dr. Carol Quigley, and in parentheses, Bill Clinton's mentor while at Georgetown, wrote about the goals of the investment bank to control the central banks. Nothing less than to create a world system of financial control in private hands, able to dominate the political system of each country and the economy of the world as controlled in a feudalist fashion by the central banks of the world, acting in concert, secret agreement, private meeting. Boom, boom, boom. So, I wanted to show you this. This is cool. I'm going to go ahead and do this search while everybody's watching. I'm going to go Internet Archives. Carol Quigley. There it goes. Look at that. Right off the top. Internet Archive. Tragedy and Hope. So it's super lickety split, easy for you to find. This is a free book. A free book on Internet Archive. And this is the guy taught Bill Clinton about secret people. Or they're at least some of them. This is the roundtable group. So, let me see. I don't think it. Part 1, Introduction to Western Civilization in its world setting. So, cultural evolution in civilizations, cultural diffusion, Europe shift to the 20th century, patterns of change, United States, Empire, creation of Russian civilization, the buffer fringe, the Near East, 2004. Actually, I'm going to go ahead and paste this for the. Put this in the. You go. Follow along. Get your free book. It's all about the roundtable. And what is it? Rhodes Scholarship and Rhodes people. So, I mean, just look at that book. Look through the table of contents to see. I mean, this kind of lays it out. I mean, got the Bolshevik Revolution, Stalinism. It's honest history, and it's scary. I think we should have a book club and read through this real history. So, they got New Age, nuclear rivalry in the Cold War, the factors, origins of the Cold War, crisis in China, Korean War and its aftermath, Khrushchev, New Era, so 1957 to 64, the eclipse of colonialism, Tragedy and Hope, the future in perspective. Tragedy and Hope is the name of this book. Earl Quigley, mentor of Bill Clinton, former president, husband to the Hill Dog.
Oh my gosh.
So, yeah. Anyway. So, what do you think? Is she getting excited about any of this? Care about the round tables?
I think it's interesting. Well, I love conspiracy stuff, but it's frustrating to see so many people sit there and say that it's bad. But if it was bad, if they were telling us the truth, we wouldn't call it a conspiracy, and we wouldn't be searching for it.
Well, it's a conspiracy, and we're theorizing about it. So conspiracy theory is. The problem is that they think that we're crazy for having these things.
Right.
Well, the problem is actually that we allow them to treat us like we're crazy for thinking about it.
Exactly.
Let them think whatever they want.
There. Yeah. Oh, that right there.
What burns me is when they lie straight to your face and expect you to buy it.
Yeah.
There you go.
Agreed.
And the hypocrisy, that's what I can't tolerate. If there was a world government that was secretive and they were doing things that were, positive, I don't know if there's a way to spin that in a good way. I don't think so. But all I know is that when I get people saying, this guy's racist, that guy's racist, and then you see Hillary Clinton talking about her mentor, Robert Byrd, and what a great guy he was when he was a KKK member.
Leader, yeah.
But why doesn't that come out in the news? Because she might off the reporter that reported it and was pretty stringent about it. Or that was out there, putting it out there. I don't know. I think that there's just this gangster element to that side right now.
Yeah, I would have to agree with you. I'm afraid, it's sad.
John Adams was talking about it today, that one guy that was doing fake news with the weather.
Right.
And it's just like, are you kidding me? Do you really? It's an insult to your intelligence. And then you see so many people out there that are buying it hook, line, and sinker and just regurgitating what they're hearing like it's a fact. And then you ask them, why do you hate him? Why do you hate Trump so much? Because he's a jerk. Well, do you have any policy issues? And it's not good.
These are the uneducated voters.
Propagandized.
It's frustrating. That's what it is.
And then you get teamed up on.
Yeah.
And then they look at you like you're a twit, and then you're out of the gang. Gang's a bad word to use in this instance.
We're not one of the cool kids.
Yeah, you're no longer a cool kid. You're one of those guys.
I've never been one of the cool kids.
Me either. That's not a problem.
A bandit, of course. He's a cool kid. Look at this guy.
What?
He was doing donuts in the parking lot in his rig.
That's right.
No, that you only see on 007 movies.
Well, in the parking lot in our school, the stoners always did that. It was always great fun to see them do it and crash into other cars.
I saw that.
But you know,
I saw a kid at an intersection. It was going from the intersection across. You had to make a left-hand turn really hard because if you didn't, you'd go into the ocean. It was just so you had to make a hard left. And I'm waiting at the light, and he got the green. He gunned his brand new Camaro, hit the curb, and knocked his wheel off the axle.
Oh snap! Oh,
I saw it. I saw him light up the tires, the smoke flying everywhere, and then I said, "What is he doing?" And then he hit the curb, and his wheel fell off, and I had to laugh out.
No!
Okay, so now we have LouRockwell.com. I think he's this site. He's kind of a neocon, but I don't know for. Anyway, this is Nazi fascist origins of the EU superstate. Like a fun read.
What are you speaking of?
The fascist origins of the Europe.
Yeah. Continue, please.
Yeah, I know. Top tiers of the American establishment, intelligence system, Wall Street. This guys are. Mainstream media provided disinformation cover for these of the policy establishments such as the Council on Foreign Relations. And pretty good conspiracy right here. Other respected British Eurosceptic researchers have also presented their evidence, which traces the collectivist impetus to its National Socialist and fascist origins. Political economist Rodney Atkinson posed 3 major volumes on the subject of the European Union. First, treason at Maastricht. Maastricht?
What?
Maastricht. I don't know. And Into the Fire, Europe's Full Circle, Corporate Elites, and classical liberal John Laughlin.
Oh, that's Maastricht.
Maastricht. Okay.
Yeah.
The tainted source, undemocratic origins.
Don't you drive down my street. Sorry.
Hey, she knows Japanese too. So where does that come from? She knows German and Japanese. Asking why.
Oh, they were the Axis.
We won't talk about the Mandarin. We won't
Axis
talk about Mandarin then.
We were allies with the Mandarins back then.
The Chinese?
Yeah, in World War II, we were allies.
Uh-oh. Here comes Life Flight.
So this is all Nazi stuff, you know. After the World War II, veteran CBS reporter Paul Manning undertook an investigation of Hitler's death. Martin Bormann and post-war Capital Network key man in considerable measure at the encouragement of Edward R. Murrow. Partially underwritten by CBS, the story of Bormann organization proved too sensitive for the network to, or in other words, too true. Talking about any true stories. What do you think we are? A news organization? Okay. The organization's clout has successfully obscured its existence in the face of journalistic investigation. Compare the official fate of Bormann, supposedly killed at the end of the war, with demonstrable historical fact, searched by Manning. Relating information from the FBI's file on Bormann, Manning writes, the file revealed that he had been banking under his own name from his office in Germany, Deutsche Bank of Buenos Aires, 1941. He held one joint account with the Argentinian dictator Juan Perón. On August 4, 5, and 14, 1967, had written checks on demand accounts First National City Bank, Overseas Division of New York, the Chase Manhattan Manufacturers Hanover Trust, all cleared through Deutsche Bank of Aires.
Wow.
So
any idea when he really died?
And look at this. Administered by SS General Heinrich Müller.
Oh. Wait a minute. That's when we need the dun dun
Dun dun dun. Yeah.
Wait, I cut out. Somebody cut out. Who was it? Heinrich Himmler?
Mueller.
Mueller. What you know about this?
Mueller.
We need to find out what Mueller's family heritage is.
Anybody?
Oh, listen, if you want to talk about Mueller, about family heritage, I really wonder if Rosenstein is a love child of the guy from the SS, because
Himmler.
Yeah, Himmler, that dude.
Yeah, he looks like him.
Oh, way too much. It gives you the shivers.
Yeah.
So I'm glad I'm not the only one that thinks that.
He looks like him.
And what was that deal that Q was trying to draw some kind of family lineage between?
Oh, yeah, with Merkel, yeah.
Yeah, Merkel and Hitler, and Hitler was actually a Rothschild or something to that effect. I didn't really understand it.
Did you go ahead?
You guys have heard of the connection between Hitler and the Muslim Brotherhood, right?
No.
Well,
No.
Dr. Corsi talks about that.
Enlighten us.
Yes. I don't have all the facts in front of me right at the moment, but I have heard of it. Hitler actually got with the Muslim Brotherhood way back then.
Back in the day?
Because of his hate of the Jews and the Muslim Brotherhoods. I'm gonna have to look that up. Yeah, I've definitely read it. It definitely is a real thing. You'll have to look it up. It's crazy.
I wonder if he was trying to go in there and be diplomatic so that they could gain access to all these ancient spots in the Middle East, so they could go and do their archaeological digs.
That's a thought. That's interesting. Yeah.
Have you guys ever looked at the historical timeline of the Democratic Party versus the Republican Party?
As far as
just looking at their policies and wondering how in the heck the Democrats are known for the party of the people. Where they're responsible for the KKK, they're responsible for being pro-slavery, against the Republican vote to overrun it or to do away with it. Women's suffrage, school segregation, Jim Crow laws, that's all on the Democratic side.
Yeah, right. The Republicans did everything for the people that are now against the Republicans.
Mm-hmm.
You're absolutely right.
If you looked at the PBS website before they took it down, they had it both up there, and they did a pretty fair job of it, which shocked me because I consider them to be extremely liberal. But you looked at the timelines, and it gave all those statistics and all those facts for everybody to see. And it's even, I don't know what the truth is about this one, but Martin Luther King's father was a Republican, and Martin Luther King may have been a Republican.
Yeah.
And that John F. Kennedy reluctantly got him out of jail. And that's when Martin Luther King's father said, we're going to vote Democrat from now on.
Okay. Well, we got like 10 minutes left. And we're going to go.
Ready?
We're going to, man, time's just flying when you're drinking.
This moment of drunken statements brought to you by.
So, we're going to go to not really
Captain
an article.
Morgan Rum.
This is a book or something. Document. Okay, the following document is taken from two sources. First was acquired on a website of which I can't remember the address, listing as its source the book titled Beyond a Pale Horse by William Cooper, Light Technology Publishing. Second source is a crudely copied booklet which does not contain a copyright notice or a publisher's name, with the exception of the foreword, the preface. The main thing that was missing from the first source was the illustrations. As we began comparing the two, we realized that the illustrations and the accompanying text, also missing from the first, made up a significant part of the document. This has now been restored by the Lawful Path, and so far as I know, is the only internet copy available. We have no first-hand knowledge of this document is genuine. However, many of the concepts contained are certainly reasonable, important, and bear strong. So, the Lawful Path is the website that I'm getting this from. Anyway, let's go down to where the called Top Secret Silent Weapons for Quiet Wars. This is a a technical manual that was discovered by accident for the copy machine technician. So somebody had left it in the machine. But
oops.
Yeah, this is it's patently impossible to discuss social engineering or the automation of a society, the engineering of social automation systems, i.e. silent weapons, on a national or worldwide scale without implying extensive objectives, social control, and destruction of human life, i.e. slavery and genocide. This manual is in itself an analog declaration of intent. Such a writing must be secured from public scrutiny. Otherwise, it might be recognized as a technically formal declaration of war. Furthermore, whenever any person or group of persons in a position of great power and without full knowledge and consent of the public uses such knowledge and methodologies for economic conquest, it must be understood that a state of domestic warfare exists between said person, groups of persons and the public. The solution of today's problems requires an approach which is ruthlessly candid, no agonizing over religious, moral, or cultural. You have qualified for this project because of your ability to look at human society with cold objectivity, yet analyze and discuss your observations and conclusions with others with similar intellectual capacity without the loss of discretion or humility. Such virtues are exercised in your own best interest from them. So, we have a manual here on social engineering. Cool. So, and part of this is this. It's what do you call it? It's based in like a new agey sort of philosophy, we'll say, but it's talking about energy. This whole, in that kind of. But so they're trying to manipulate the economy, culture, politics, all that stuff. They're trying to use. They're trying to think of it in terms. Find it interesting.
Through big windmills.
We got Rothschilds here talking about. No, they're trying to look at. There's just different scales of energy. Think of it like electrical energy, mechanical. Different ways of describing energy. So they're just trying to look at political power or economic power, all these different things, different forms of energy.
Okay.
Rothschild, it says Mr. Rothschild had discovered that currency or deposit loan accounts had the required appearance of power that could be used to induce people. Inductance, the term within electrical people corresponding to a field. So they're looking at economic systems. The same, I mean, like electrical energy, like the way a generator works. You have a magnet, you have a coil with current going around it, and if you have relative motion that between the magnetic field and the coil with the current in it, then it actually induces electricity into that. That's how magnets and electricity work. It induces the relative motion is what induces the current to the field winding. Anyway, I mean, so they're just using like knowledge of motors and generators and stuff like that in terms of how they understand. But they also apply it to politics. So political power or cultural power. So it's all reducible to that concept. See, that looks very similar to the way motor generators. So like we talk about these you got Rothschilds, and then the Rockefeller, they got replaced by Soros, and then you got the Saudi royals. There's 3 branches. Why 3? Because this is what it takes. This is the how they understand people, is through this analogy of motor generators, how motors and generators work. Between when you got the field, you have the magnet, and so the field is the magnet, and then you have the relative motion, and then electrical energy. So you can control, if you can control two of them, then by way of controlling two of them, you actually control the third. Doesn't matter which two you control, you're controlling the other one. So if you have two of them, you can control the third.
That's dehumanization if I've ever heard it.
Yeah, this is hardcore engineering principles applied to social engineering. This is the manipulation of population.
When I hear you saying this, it reminds me of Schindler's List, when everything was in black and white and you were following the girl in the red dress through the whole thing. That was like the last dose of humanity and hope. And then eventually you see the little red dress in the heap of bodies.
Oh, man. Oh, my goodness.
My goodness.
Anyway, I think we crossed.
Cow juice.
I think we crossed a line.
Well,
are you sure you're in the right place? Death and destruction's cool.
It would be cool to look at this Beyond a Pale Horse and compare that with.
Have you guys read Behold a Pale Horse?
Yeah, I have it.
How do
I
you
bought
read
it.
That thing? I mean, 'cause it just seems like a bunch of documents compiled that makes a case.
You just take it a little bit at a time.
Yeah.
And it was interesting because I bought it, and the week after they removed it from Amazon.
What? When was this?
Oh gosh, I think I got it about 6 months ago.
Oh my gosh, I'm gonna go look and see if it's available.
Well,
because I think I bought mine on eBay.
Yeah, I got. They had the Kindle version available on Amazon, and they removed it like the week after I bought it.
I wonder if it's available in archive.
I don't know.
Or where else it could.
It's available on Amazon.
Yeah, you can buy the book, but you can't buy it in Kindle.
It's got a $2.99 Kindle edition.
Yeah, but it's not available anymore. Or it wasn't when the last I looked at it, which was a couple weeks ago.
Okay.
Jax is fake news, Jax. Jeez.
Nice.
Come on.
Oh my God.
Riz.
Really? Really?
You're spreading fake news.
If we can't rely on Jax to be a reliable
exactly.
She's wild, man.
She are wild.
Listen, I take that name with pride, man.
And this episode has been brought to you by Captain Morgan and Coke.
Oh, gosh. Brain, you and your Captain Morgan. Holy cow.
Did you guys ever read the Dr. Corsi book about Hitler being in Argentina?
I don't think I read his stuff on that. I've heard of it before.
Yeah, because there was a show on the History Channel, Hunting Hitler, that was...
Oh, yeah, that was actually pretty good.
I mean, there's so many people that poo-poo that, too. I mean, like that movie or that show and the Ancient Aliens show, with Chief Toast last week. I mean, I think that Ancient Aliens has been a program put on the History Channel for the mainstream to slowly get people acclimated to the idea and the concept of it. Now,
I like that.
Dun, dun, dun.
Well, I got the music playing, man. You guys like the Secret Squirrel music, the themes music?
Yeah, we didn't hear it today, though.
Oh, it's on there. You're not hearing it because you're not. But it's there.
Okay, so we're wrapping up.
Okay, see, I have it here. I took a screenshot. I'm not lying. I don't want to hear you guys saying I'm lying. Fine. Suck it.
I think we were about ready to head out.
You know what that says to me, Jax? Is that your band?
I probably am, and I'm very proud of that.
Was this? Oh, this is from February. Okay, yeah, because now.
No, that's what I bought. I just went to the website and it says title is currently not available for purchase.
Oh, you know what I was looking at? Ooh, my bad. I'm not going to admit that I was looking at the Kindle.
Yeah, if you click on the Kindle, I've got the Kindle selected, and it says it's not available.
Dun dun dun.
Yeah.
But I already bought it.
You know, that would be one way to get in trouble if they went and they looked to find out all the people that bought that book, and then there was a knock at your door.
Yeah, man. You thought they were watching for people buying Hitler's book, but really that's not it. Because that means you're one of them. They don't mind you buying that.
Tonight's Secret Squirrels was brought to you by Captain Morgan and Coca-Cola. Goes down smooth, helps you accept
and comes up repeatedly as you try to go to sleep.
Oh my gosh.
This is Billy Cooper, and I want to tell you to buy my book while drinking Captain Morgan's Behold a Pale Horse, available at stores near you.
This has been a Corsi Nation production.